36 heroes and villains battle it out for survival and the power to confront Darkseid. It's a no-holds-barred tournament where the last man standing is crowned King Omega, hence the name of the event. This is the #1 Comics Podcast, and this is dcko. Welcome to the #1 Comics Podcast. I'm your host, Jonah. With me, as always, is Bill. Bill, thanks for joining me again. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a chance to record.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Now, the last episode that we released was a event book on One World Under Doom.
Yep.
And that sort of inspired us to take a look at a couple of other events that have gone on over the last couple of years or even recently. And that's what we're talking about tonight is one of the new events or more recent events from DC Comics, which is dcko #1. Now, as I had already mentioned, this is published by DC Comics, had a cover date of December of 2025, cover price of $5.99. This comic was written by Scott Snyder and penciled by Javi Fernandez. Had you heard anything about this kind of leading up to it or when it was coming out?
Kind of heard some hype about it. I listened to a couple of like comics related podcasts, and they had kind of done some shorts on it and stuff like that. So I was kind of aware of it.
Yeah. Well, in 2024, DC launched their All In initiative. This was spearheaded by Scott Snyder as the architect, and it followed their Absolute Power storyline, which featured Amanda Waller going after all of the metahumans because she deemed them dangerous. The All-In initiative was really a concerted effort to establish a cohesive narrative across, almost nearly all of DC's books, as well as provide a good jumping on point for new readers. And it also birthed the Absolute universe, which I know we've talked previously about Absolute Batman, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of the other titles at some point. This event really was the culmination of the entire All-In initiative. So let's go ahead and get into it. And starting with the cover, as usual, and of course, with any event book, or really any book these days, there's multiple variant covers. The cover that I have here is really two covers in one. You've got the outer kind of acetate cover in all black, with the exception of the block lettering. That's kind of transparent. It says dcko. Behind that, we have the gorgeous cover, which features Superman leading the heroes into battle. This cover was done by Javier Fernandez, who also inked it, and the colors on this cover were by Alejandro Sanchez. The combination of the two covers together, I really think, makes this feel like a special event and not just a run-of-the-mill stock comic book. And funny, every issue of this they had done this cover with, and that's the one I wanted with all of them. And I did get it with all of them except for number 3. Oh, cool. I'm still trying to find this cover to issue 3. I'll track it down at some point. Let's go ahead and dive inside the book. We open in the dark with Superman loosening up his joints. He's getting ready for a brawl. He's even brought some weapons. They're called the Knuckles. These were forged in the fortress. Each knuckle has miniature raging suns inside. I don't know what any of that means, but that sounds badass.
Yeah.
He steps through a doorway into the light, and he's prepared for another fight, but his reaction when those doors open tells us that he's not really prepared at all. Now we're going to cut to a page, which is the title page and the credits page. Chapter 1 is called Into the Ring. On the following page, we've got Clark Kent, a.k.a. Superman, Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Batman, and Diana Prince, a.k.a. Wonder Woman. They are playing a DC hero-themed board game. It appears to be a Chutes and Ladders style game. It's a race to reach the watchtower first, essentially. Sadly, no winner is determined. Suddenly, something appears out the window of Lois and Clark's apartment. It is a massive Darkseid laying waste to the city with his Omega beams. The Trinity is really quick to react. They start soaring towards that threat. But it's not just Metropolis that's getting attacked by Darkseid. It's everywhere all at once. Gotham, Oa. Darkseid is attacking and destroying the entire universe. Batman gets taken out first, then Wonder Woman, and then Superman falls. This is when Superman questions to the quantum quorum, basically like, when is this happening? The quantum quorum, I'm going to trip over that the entire time. Quantum quorum consists of a few different characters. You've got World Forger, you've got Grodd, you've got Time Trapper, aka Skinny Doomsday, and then you've got Booster Gold. The Quantum Quorum is a group of time travelers who have brought this warning to the heroes. So when Superman asks when, he's told that this has already happened. The time travelers were able to rewind time 7 days. So essentially 7 days from where we're at on this page is when Darkseid attacks and destroys the universe. The heroes are told there is no way to stop him this time. Every variation that they've explored ends with Darkseid winning. It's kind of reminiscent of Doctor Strange, and was it Endgame or Infinity War when he looks at all the different futures, and none of them look very good. The heroes are all told that really the best thing for them to do is give up and start over. The Quorum proposed the creation of a new timeline, stating that it's been done before. Everything had been restarted, a timeline existing outside of the larger reality. Now, this is actually a reference, an in-continuity reference to the New 52 universe from back in like 2011. The heroes are not keen on this idea. The Quorum fill the heroes in on how Darkseid became so unstoppable. There are two primary energies within the universe, Alpha and Omega. Alpha is the energy of creation. Nearly all planets with life are sources of this energy, but not Apocalypse. Apocalypse is the planet that the new gods are from, which includes Darkseid, so that's his home planet. At the core of Apocalypse, there's a machine, a heart, that runs on Omega energy. Omega energy is the energy of conquest. Darkseid has been a champion for this heart and has been seeking to turn Earth into New Apocalypse. When he formed his new universe, he placed a heart of Apocalypse at its Earth's center. All Omega energy flow to him, making him absolute, making him that universe's King Omega. The heroes' own Earth is transforming slowly. The heart of Apocalypse is at the center. It's growing as Darkseid approaches. Batman asks that if there's a heart of Apocalypse forming at the center of their Earth, couldn't they use it to transform one of them into their own King Omega? The time travelers shoot down that idea, as it would require them to restart the heart, blasting it with Omega energy that they don't necessarily have. Well, Booster Gold has it, to be clear. Batman asks the World Forger to show them, help them comprehend what it is that they're asking. The World Forger explains that the heart is a sentient, living thing. Reborn, it would seek a champion, someone fueled by conquest. It would not let the heroes near it. It would defend itself by reshaping itself and creating a tournament. Each ring around this tournament is a higher level of challenge. The heroes would be competing with one another. It'd be a competition to find an ultimate champion. To prove worthiness, one of them would need to defeat all of the others and then the heart itself. Only then could that person be capable of facing Darkseid. In theory, that champion could bring everything and everyone that had been lost in this challenge back. They could reshape the universe however they want. Time Trapper asks the heroes if they're even capable of such a contest, as the heart only responds to Omega energy, which is, again, that energy of conquest. They must compete to win. No mercy, no compassion. The heroes simply exchange glances with one another upon learning all of this. Finally, it's Superman who answers. They're not doing this. And then he walks off. He's alone, staring out at Earth from the JLA watchtower. Batman and Wonder Woman approach him. Superman asks, what's to stop the villains from following them down there? Wonder Woman proposes that they put all of the villains into the negative zone to keep them safe and to keep them out of the competition. Supes also asks who will protect the world while they're gone. Batman and Wonder Woman assure Superman that this is something, this is a game essentially that they can all win together, and they'll get those details worked out. Chapter 2. They all decided they have 7 days to prepare. On the 7th day, just before Darkseid arrives, they will enter the heart and compete to become its champion. At the same time, the quantum quorum will slow time to stave off Darkseid's approach. Hopefully it'll be long enough for a hero to claim the heart. Now, as they're preparing for this, on the very first day, the heroes move to secure the villains. Mr. Terrific uses modified T-spheres to locate the most dangerous criminals. The T-spheres find their targets, which include the Joker, Black Manta, and Lex Luthor. The heroes then meet with world leaders on the second day. On the third day, Superman addresses the world as a whole. He explains a collection of 13 companies have joined forces to create mega arcs as a part of an evacuation plan in case they don't succeed. The Titans and Mr. Terrific will stay behind to protect the Earth in the heroes' absence. The fourth day, the heroes spend with their families. On the fifth day, they prepare for the tournament. Some prepare a good offense, some prepare a good defense. It's on the sixth day, it's time to go. Over 100 of the world's heroes, friends and family set off to compete in a tournament without any mercy. They arrive at the Scartaris Nexus, a passageway to the center of the Earth. Booster Gold is strapped to the belly of this jet, essentially. He's ready to blast the heart with what Omega energy he has left. He gained this energy from when he was kind of trapped with Darkseid for a period of time. Anyway, now we move into Chapter 3. The blast from Booster Gold was just enough to stop the heart for a few hundred zeptoseconds. Do you know what a zeptosecond is?
I have no idea.
It's a real thing. I had to look it up because it sounds made up.
Huh.
Now, a zeptosecond is 1/trillionth of a billionth of a second.
Wow. Okay.
A zeptosecond is to a second what a second is to about 31.7 billion years.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I'm no expert in quantum physics, but that sounds pretty like a pretty short period of time.
Yeah.
That blast was enough so the heart stopped, and when it began again, it sees the heroes rocketing towards it, and it welcomes them. It shows every hero what it would look like if they win. They all feel what it would be like to be a champion and be the sole god of the universe that can reform the universe around their ideas and beliefs. They have the ability to see what good they could do. As quickly as the vision appears, it vanishes, leaving the heroes in darkness, waiting at the arena gates. The tournament is upon them. We join Superman where we started this issue. He's entered the arena, and he's joined by the other heroes. They find themselves in a gauntlet of 3 massive, monstrous beings. Once the game begins, Superman is really the one to strike first. And the object of this game is to essentially get from their starting point to the ending point, which is a portal. And of course, there's traps and opposition along the way. So again, Superman's the first to strike. However, he's struck in the back by Batman, who's kind of in a mech suit of sorts, reminding him to get his head in the game. The heroes race across the arena towards the finish line. See, Superman goes to attack the Beast, and it's not about attacking the monsters, it's about getting to that portal. There, as I mentioned, there's booby traps. As Damage and Adam Strange discover, they are both quickly taken out. Jay Garrick, the original Flash, he races towards the glowing portal, which signals that end zone. He steps on a booby-trapped floor panel, which releases an army of Omega demons. These are like supercharged versions of Darkseid's parademons. Several heroes are quickly gunned down. The Green Lanterns, they take on one of the giant beings with their power rings. Ambush Bug tries to rush past Lobo, but gets tripped and then obliterated. Superman is taking on the Omega demons, but he's holding back. He's not making the push to the portal. The heroes rush through the portal at the end, but Superman, again, he's staying back, he's fighting. Superman realizes that he hadn't seen Batman cross yet. Batman approaches Superman from behind, and he begins telling Superman to focus and to stay sharp. But Batman's sentence fades quickly when something tears through his chest after getting struck from behind. Superman cries out, "Batman!" The object that was thrust through Batman is a flag. The flag unfurls, and at the end of it, it reads, "Bang." An explosion knocks Superman off of his feet, and when he looks up, he sees the Joker, Lex Luthor, Starro, Cheetah, the villains that they thought they had trapped in the negative zone have arrived. The last thing that Batman says to Superman is, "Remember what I said." How did the villains get out? How did they get there? There's no time for answers as the villains begin making it through the portal. Joker, Black Manta, Lex, they all make it through the portal. Heroes like Green Lantern and Blue Beetle don't. Lex flashes Superman a smile. It almost looks like a smile of pity. Superman's anger swells as his heart pounds in his chest, and he clenches his fists and soars through the portal, taking the very last spot in the contest. In the end of this issue, there are 32 champions. Who will win and who will be crowned King Omega? Our narrator of this entire book has been the Heart of Apocalypse. It knows the answer. It knows all of the surprises that are coming. The Heart reveals to us a glimpse of 3 warriors from the absolute universe waiting in the wings. Then it reveals one final twist. There is one champion already among the heroes. It's Darkseid himself. He's taken the form of one of their own. So this game isn't the beginning. It's already over. And that's where this issue closes. Bill, what were your thoughts?
I have a few things that are kind of like, will probably more seem like nitpicks.
Sure. Pick away.
First of all, what is up with Batman's face?
Well, with the 5 o'clock shadow?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was just the way they were trying to draw it and I just misinterpreted it or something like that.
No, it looks like he's got a beard going.
It looks, well, there's a couple scenes where it looks like his face is just a puckered butthole.
Oh, that could be. Yeah.
But that was just me. Also, I wasn't aware that word bubbles can reflect in glass. So I was kind of like surprised by that.
Yep. That was an interesting artistic choice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll get those two out of the way. Let's put those aside. Those are just my little nitpicks on it.
Sure.
First of all, the cover, as you touched on, very cool. I love the cover design on it. Artwork on it's great. The coloring's great on it. No notes on the cover. That's awesome. I like how they kind of address the DC reboots. The first thing I thought of when they said this has happened before is no shit. But again, that's just me nitpicking on DC. The twist at the end, pretty cool. Still kind of predictable. This whole thing, I'm reading it, sounds like the premise of like a Mortal Kombat video game. It sounds like something that could be made into a DC focused video game.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It is as it is as outlandish as I described it, or as when you go through the synopsis and you're like, this sounds batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And it is.
It is.
The whole premise is very comic booky.
Yeah.
Right.
But it very much works.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm very intrigued with it. It's kind of like a schoolyard argument come to life.
Who would win?
You know, like who do you think would win between Batman and Green Lantern?
Right.
Or something like that. Right. So that part of it's really cool. I kind of figured like, okay, Darkseid's going to be involved in this somehow, but he's always kind of been like, if you compare him to Mortal Kombat, he's always been the Shao Kahn of DC, pretty much. So,
yeah, with the few DC Crisis books, like Final Crisis comes to mind, where Darkseid's kind of the big bad there. He is the Thanos and Doctor Doom and you know, all the big bads of Marvel. He's like that one person within the DC universe.
Yeah.
So he's there. If something big and bad is going down, Darkseid's a part of it for sure. Mm-hmm. The one thing I found with DC events, they have a tendency to be like very heady, very convoluted to me, confusing even, steeped in too much continuity. And again, events like Final Crisis come to mind. Dark Knight's Metal, which was super confusing to me. Even Infinite Crisis can be like laborious and frustrating reads.
Right.
Frustrating read at times. It has a tendency, it can make them a little less enjoyable. They're often a lot less straightforward than I feel many of like the Marvel events are. I just feel those ones are a lot more grounded most of the time.
Right.
This book has, as we talked about, like this crazy high concept that when I explain it to like the layperson, it does sound like ludicrous and it sounds like a video game. But I really think it's like ludicrous in like the most kind of glorious of ways, in that it is embracing the fact that this is a big, dumb, stupid event. Yeah. It's like, it's not taking itself too seriously. It's like just serious enough. So I really enjoyed this issue. Yeah. You know, from the opening page, like with Superman getting ready to rumble, the game night getting interrupted by Darkseid, even the expo dump by the Quantum Quorum, I was pretty much glued to like every page.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I enjoyed the quiet moments of the Trinity with, you know, they're always so optimistic. We're like, it's a game. We can win this game. We'll win together, right? I don't think they fully understand what is being asked of them, even if they think that they do. The chapter breaks, I really liked that. It broke it out to where it filled in a lot of the gaps where you didn't have to see anything. It was expository dialogue, but it was done in such a way that it made a lot of sense to me. And I also really liked the reveal as to who was narrating the entire time. I thought that was very cool. Once we get into chapter 3, and that's really when the shit hits the fan, this is undoubtedly, it feels like an event. Like it feels like a big event. The action's fast, it's frantic. There's some surprises along the way. The villains showing up. You called it, or you said that was predictable. I didn't see that coming necessarily. I thought that was a very cool surprise.
I will clarify on that. The involvement of Darkseid at the end.
Gotcha. I
saw that. That coming a mile away. The involvement of the villains, though, like Joker and all them showing up.
Did not see that coming.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now, what about Batman getting knocked out, like getting like killed off real quick?
I think that's I think it's bullshit.
Here's what's bullshit about it, or what I think is kind of funny about it.
Not bullshit as in, I can't believe Batman got taken out like in the first round. It's like, Batman is one of those people that has a contingency for everything. Yeah. So he probably saw that coming.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Several steps ahead.
Because he did have a contingency.
Okay.
We will talk about that. So, but yeah, I thought that was a neat surprise as well. And I think of how many people had probably had Batman as a favorite to win overall, right? So now, whenever one of the heroes falls. I don't know if you caught this because they don't really call it out. It's a visual cue. Whenever one of the heroes falls, a statue of them appears in kind of near the heart.
Okay.
So you can see those statues forming on one of the panels. And the reason I bring that up is because I'll reference that again when we talk about what happens with Batman.
Okay.
Because I do want to touch on that. Some of my favorite moments, and I'd love to hear some of yours. The image of Darkseid laying waste to Metropolis looked dope. That was a very cool spread with those Omega beams just tearing through buildings. That was awesome. The entire scene of the heroes in the arena, like Billy Batson getting smashed, Ambush Bug breaking the fourth wall, was very cute. And then he gets tripped up by Lobo. The villains arriving was awesome. The tease of Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman appearing, that had me very giddy.
Yes.
As an aside, not so much one of my favorite scenes, but Time Trapper, a.k.a. Doomsday. Okay. He reminds me of like Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Where when he was bigger, he looked like normal. And now that he's like all skinny, he's fucking weird looking.
He looks weird.
So he's like Kevin Smith to me in this. Anyway, I digress. Any scenes stood out to you that you want to touch on?
I would say the kind of teaser of the Absolute universe got me really hyped for it. Because one, Absolute Batman is amazing. I absolutely love Absolute Batman. The destruction, like kind of at the beginning, the tease of the villains coming through and being joined to the tournament. I think that's cool.
Now, I want to real quickly run down the 32 contestants.
Okay.
Who there's a picture of them. They're not named, but they're pictures on the kind of towards the end. You've got, and this is kind of in order from left to right, top to bottom. Joker, Star Sapphire, Jay Garrick, the Flash, Vixen, Connor Hawke, the Demon Etrigan, Superman, Cheetah, Hawkman, Lobo, Zatanna, Power Girl, Plastic Man, Batwoman, Starro, Big Barda, Lex Luthor, Harley Quinn, King Shark, Aquaman, Black Lightning, Supergirl, Firestorm, Robin, Giganta, Captain Atom, Swamp Thing, Cyborg, Red Hood, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, and Wonder Woman. Okay. Now, leading up to the event, DC put out even like a March Madness style bracket where you could fill out choosing who you think would win, which I think is a pretty cool idea for the event. But one thing I did notice on one of the brackets I was looking at with the pictures that they'd released with it, it had Batman on there. And that mofo's not even part of the final 32. He gets taken out before he's even considered one of the champions that's competing for it. That was like, it was clearly a misdirection by DC to not give away that Batman is not in there.
Right.
Because then I think people would have called out, Batman getting killed off pretty quick. Based on those 32, who would be if you were to fill out that bracket, who's your favorite to win?
Ooh. Based on powers and everything like that alone, Plastic Man. Based on who I'd want to win and if this was a video game, who I'd play as, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing. Yeah, Swamp Thing. Could you imagine Swamp Thing wins and then he remakes the planet and it's like...
It's just the green.
Just
like
green.
No concrete.
Pollution. No cities.
Yeah.
That actually pretty dope.
Lobo would be an honorable mention for that too. I'd love to see Lobo.
Lobo would be my pick just because I'm a big Lobo fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I would probably put on the bracket, even though I don't see that, wouldn't see that actually happening. So anyway, let's talk about what came next. Now, this is a 5-issue event series with numerous tie-ins. Unlike most event books, I actually grabbed pretty much all of the tie-ins. The one-shots like Superman versus Captain Atom, Wonder Woman versus Lobo, Boss Battle, they were kind of no-brainers. And a lot of them I really enjoyed. Some of them weren't as good as other ones. Now, Boss Battle, I don't know if we've talked about that one or if I mentioned that one to you before, but
These are the ones where it was like Superman versus Homelander.
Yes. Okay. A lot of people might have had some issues with that book. I really enjoyed it. Because, you had Superman versus Homelander. You also had other characters thrown in there, like Red Sonja was in there, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, Annabelle, the doll, like, versus Joker.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really liked that. I even began picking up titles that I wasn't normally picking up, like Titans, Superman, and The Flash. Okay. So I was buying pretty much all of the tie-ins for this book. Let's talk about Batman. Because Batman did get his own miniseries during this event called Night Fight, I believe it is.
Okay.
And it comes out after he gets killed in this first issue. So, like you mentioned, Batman's really good about anticipating pretty much any contingency. Mm-hmm. And he anticipated the elimination. And so he, quote unquote, cheated by building a mother box into his armored suit. He called it a bat box, which allowed him to break out of the statue.
Huh.
So he created kind of his own cheat code that got him freed from being enclosed or entombed in that statue. The Heart of Apocalypse, though, saw this as cheating and punished him by sending him off to a series of alternate realities where he's forced to fight different versions of his sons who have become Batman.
Oh.
So the whole miniseries is him fighting other versions of himself.
That sounds cool.
Like Damian and Dick and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So it was a pretty cool miniseries. I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah.
There was one of the tie-ins I didn't care for much, and that was it was a Green Lantern one, and it was like very wrestling centric, and I'm not a wrestling fan, and so a lot of it was just kind of like, eh. Even like the main protagonist in it was like this like EW type wrestler character that I don't really care about.
I think I know who you're talking about.
That was really the one that I probably disliked the most. One of the other ones that I thought was surprising too was The Kids Are All Fight, which focuses on the kind of the Titans that were left behind to defend Earth, having to do that. I thought that one, and really what it is, it's like John Kent's forced to babysit, and then a bunch of them like escape, and he's got to like go find them. But I liked that one too. It was a good, overall good series. Overall, it was a good event, I felt.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and rate it.
Sure.
Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think so. I think we're ready to rate it.
Would you buy the next, at least read it, skip it, or rather be saved from yourself by being placed into the negative zone, which sounds terrible?
I would definitely read/buy it, but I'd probably wait for there to be a like all-inclusive omnibus or collection or something
of
like that.
All that with all the tie-ins. And
but I will say this, because there are times when like Marvel, for example, did a lot of tie-ins with like Onslaught, right? And the tie-ins were like really had no bearing whatsoever on the story. So are the tie-ins, other than like the boss battles and stuff like that, do those really like have any impact on the story? Or they just kind of show like...
So some of, I mean, they do have a little bit of an impact, because like some of the tie-ins, like there was a Wonder Woman versus Lobo, if I'm not mistaken, which obviously whoever wins that one continues on in the tournament. So some of these one-shots did have a bearing on the story from that perspective. The boss battle one was all about, this is kind of where, and it was relatively anticlimactic when the absolute Trinity kind of shows up to brawl, and then the Heart of Apocalypse is like, to the regular heroes are like, you're not ready to fight these guys yet. Like you need to like build up, you need to pump up your Omega energy, and that's when it kind of sends them off to fight these other beings from other dimensions or other worlds.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is because I hate when there's the main issues in the run, right? Like issue 1 through 5. If I read issue number 3 and there's something in there that totally doesn't make sense, and I would have had to like go and buy a comic and wouldn't normally read. I
didn't really see it that way. It's more. I felt it as more supplemental and sort of to help reinforce the event feeling of it. But no, I didn't ever feel that way where I didn't pick up an issue and feel lost because I hadn't picked up an issue of, or hadn't yet read an issue of Flash or something along those lines.
Okay.
So I didn't, no, I never gathered that.
Okay.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, for me, it's an easy buy for me. I really liked this event. It's probably been my favorite DC event because I have a tendency to not be a fan of a lot of their events. Mm-hmm. This one I think was, even considering it's like outlandish, high concept, mm-hmm. I felt like it was an easy read. Like I didn't feel like I needed a who's who of DC continuity or what's what of DC continuity to be a guide rail through this.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the Injustice comics so well, or the Injustice event,
because they kind of sit
because they didn't hold your hand with it. Like you already knew who Batman and Superman and everybody else were. Now, I'm sorry if you already said this and I missed it. Have you read 1 through 5? You read the entire
of this?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. What was your thoughts overall as an event?
I really liked it as an event as a whole. Mm-hmm. The winner, I never felt, even at the end when the winner is determined, I didn't feel like it was a complete cop-out. There was some interesting things that happened. You know, I'm trying to think if I want to, like, how spoilerific I want to get, because it's still relatively new.
Right.
I will say this. It was an interesting event, and I think it also did a good job of setting the stage for kind of where we're at with DC Comics today.
Cool.
In terms of like, okay, why is this character not in this book, and why is this a book, and what happened here, and so I think it's done a pretty. And actually, one of the things that I feel what made this event even more successful is it gave. Following this event, it gave the DC titles sort of fresh jumping on points. You either had new creative teams on them, you had new directions for the stories. So just as an example, I was not reading the Flash run, but I got the tie-ins, and then now this kind of post-KO, there's a new Flash story arc with a new creative team by, I think it's Ryan North and Guidry. I picked it up. I don't even like the Flash, but I picked it up, and I actually really liked that issue. It was a really cool. But what was neat about this is they didn't renumber everything with a new number 1. It was like Flash 32 or whatever it is that I picked up, and it was a good jumping on point for new readers. So following the event, a lot of good jumping on points, whether it's, you know, Superman, Flash. I started buying Titans or Teen Titans, or I can't remember if it's Titans or Teen Titans, but I started buying that again, post-Titan. I've just kind of like kept going because it's all like fresh story arcs and good jumping on point for. So that's what I really think makes this event successful.
Very cool.
And I can't say that about every event, right?
Yeah.
So, I really enjoyed this. Like I said, it was really good. Be sure to check it out. I'm sure there's a collection of it coming soon. I don't know about an omnibus with everything, but I know the trades are out there. Yeah. I know like Night Fight's out there, I believe, as a trade that you can pick up. But recommended overall. Very cool stuff. Good. Be sure to check us out as we wrap this up on Facebook at the #1 Comics Podcast. You can find us on YouTube as well as wherever you get your podcasts under the Field of Geeks, which we are part of the Field of Geeks network. Special thank you to everyone at the Field of Geeks to help make this podcast happen. We really appreciate you. Also, special thanks to Raven X for the music. And anyone I'm forgetting? I feel like it's been a while since we recorded.
I think you pretty much covered it.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.